Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the Easy English channel. We are absolutely thrilled to have you join us today. It's always such a pleasure to connect with our amazing community of English learners.
Yes, absolutely. A huge thank you for tuning in. And truly, before we dive into today's fantastic topic, we just want to take a moment to express our immense gratitude for all of your incredible support. Your likes, those thoughtful comments you leave, and every share really help this channel grow. It allows us to keep creating fresh, new, and hopefully very helpful episodes for you week after week. It means the world to us, honestly.
It really does. And hey, if this happens to be your very first time stumbling upon our channel, welcome aboard. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now. Give this video a big thumbs up if you find it useful. And please share it with a friend or anyone you know who's also on their English learning journey. It helps them and it helps us too.
And make sure you go ahead and hit that notification bell as well. That way you'll never, ever miss a new episode or any of our exciting updates here on the Easy English channel. We put out new content regularly, and we don't want you to miss a thing.
So let's jump right into today's main topic, shall we? We're going to spend some quality time exploring a really essential aspect of everyday English communication: how to confidently and correctly talk about your future plans in English. It's a common challenge for many learners, but we're going to make it simple.
That's right. I mean, think about it. From just casual plans for this upcoming weekend, like what you're doing Saturday night, to those bigger, more significant long-term goals and even your personal dreams, we use future language constantly. We'll cover everything step by step, breaking it down so it's easy to understand and even easier to use.
Exactly. So stay with us throughout this episode. Make sure you actively practice along with us as we go, and we promise you, by the time we wrap things up today, you'll feel much more confident and natural when discussing your future plans in English. You'll be able to express yourself clearly, which is what it's all about.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm ready. Are you? Let's get started and demystify this area of English grammar.
All right, let's begin with a very common and practical question, one you'll hear and use all the time. What are you going to do this weekend? It sounds straightforward, right?
It does sound simple, and yet, surprisingly, many English learners, even at intermediate levels, tend to make some small, subtle mistakes when they're trying to answer this seemingly easy question. Today, we're going to shine a light on those common errors, and more importantly, teach you exactly how to avoid them so you sound supernatural.
Perfect. To kick things off, let's share our own plans. Olivia, spill the beans. What are you going to do this weekend? Any exciting plans?
Oh, sure. So on Saturday, I'm going to meet a friend for lunch, probably at that new cafe downtown. I've been meaning to try it. And then on Sunday, I'm going to finally clean my apartment, tackle that mountain of laundry. And then later, hopefully, just relax and read a really good book. Nothing too wild, but definitely planned.
Nice. Those sound like some solid plans. For me, this weekend, I'm going to visit my grandparents on Saturday. We haven't seen them in a while, so I'm looking forward to that. Then, on Sunday, I'm going to study a bit for an upcoming project, and maybe, just maybe, I'll watch a new series that everyone's been talking about. A little work, a little play.
See what we did there? Notice how we both consistently used am going to, followed by the base form of the verb. That's because these are plans we've already decided on, right? We've thought about them, and they're pretty much set. This structure is arguably the most natural and common way to talk about such pre-decided plans in English.
Exactly. Now, one very common mistake we hear, and it's a big one, is forgetting the verb to be entirely. For example, some learners might say, I going to visit my friend. Can you hear that? It's missing something crucial. That's incorrect, and it immediately flags it as a non-native speaker construction.
It really does. You absolutely need to include the correct form of to be. Am, is, or are, depending on your subject. So the correct sentence is, I am going to visit my friend, or he is going to study later, or even they are going to travel next month. The to be verb is like the anchor of this sentence here. You can't leave it out.
Another mistake we often encounter is using will instead of going to when talking about pre-decided plans. For instance, someone might say, I will visit my friend this weekend. While that sentence is grammatically correct in a very general sense, it often sounds less natural if the plan is already set in stone.
Precisely. We typically reserve will for spontaneous decisions made at the moment of speaking, or for making predictions about the future, or even for promises. For example, if someone suddenly offers you coffee, you might say, oh, I'll have one. That's spontaneous. But for something you've thought about and confirmed, going to is definitely the more natural choice. It conveys that sense of prior intention and planning.
Word order can also trip people up. This is a subtle one, but important for sounding natural. For example, you might hear, I'm going to this weekend study English. That's just not how we structure it in English. It sounds a little jumbled, you know?
Yeah, it totally throws off the natural rhythm of the sentence. The correct and much smoother order is I'm going to study English this weekend. Generally, adverbs of time, like this weekend, usually come at the end of the sentence, or less commonly at the very beginning for emphasis. Keeping the verb and its object together is key.
So to recap, a really good, clear, and natural-sounding answer to what are you going to do this weekend would be something like, I'm going to study English this weekend, or I'm going to relax at home. Simple, yet grammatically solid and very native-like.
All right, your turn now. Take a quick moment, maybe even pause the audio, and really think, what are you going to do this weekend? Now, try saying it out loud, using am going to, and making sure your word order is correct. Don't be shy. Practice makes perfect.
Excellent. We hope you took that opportunity to practice. Now, let's move on to a really fun and incredibly effective listening activity that will challenge your ears and help solidify what we've just discussed.
For this next segment, you're going to hear a short, everyday conversation between two friends. They're just casually chatting about their plans, much like we just did. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to listen carefully for any grammar mistakes you hear and try to think about how you would correct them on the fly.
Before we play the audio, let's quickly review 3 key vocabulary words that you'll definitely hear in this conversation. Knowing these beforehand will give you a nice head start.
The first word is schedule. A schedule, as you might know, is basically a detailed plan of activities, often with specific times or dates. Like, my schedule for Monday is packed with meetings, or I need to check my schedule before I can commit.
That's right. The second word is arrangement. An arrangement is a plan or an agreement that you've already organized and confirmed with someone. For example, we made arrangements to meet for coffee next Tuesday, or have you finalized the travel arrangements? It implies a mutual understanding.
And finally, the third word is postpone. To postpone simply means to delay something, or to move it to a later time or date. Like, we had to postpone our picnic because of the rain, or can we postpone our meeting until next week? It's a very useful verb when plans change.
All right, so with those 3 words in mind, remember your task. Listen for any grammar mistakes, and internally or even silently to yourself, think about how you would correct them. It's a great way to actively engage with the material.
And seriously, don't stress if you don't catch every single one. That's totally okay. The goal is to start developing that ear for natural English. We'll go through everything together afterwards, explaining each point in detail. So just relax, listen, and enjoy the conversation.
Okay, so you've had a chance to listen to the conversation. Now let's talk about the mistakes we heard. Many of them, I have to say, are extremely common for English learners, especially those operating at the B1 to B2 level. It's totally normal to make them.
Yes, they truly are. One of the mistakes we heard was, once again, forgetting that crucial verb to be. For example, one of the friends said, I going to meet my cousin. As we just discussed, that's incorrect. The proper version, the one that sounds native and fluent, is I am going to meet my cousin. It's a foundational error that's worth reiterating.
Exactly. It's a key grammatical pattern to remember. After the verb thinking, when it's followed by another verb, we almost always use of or about plus the gerund, which is the verb ending in ing. So thinking of going, thinking about doing, thinking of studying, it's a set structure in English. We also heard a sentence like, maybe I join you. Again, grammatically a bit off for expressing a future possibility or intention. The more natural and correct sentence would be, maybe I'll join you, or even maybe I can join you if it's about ability. Will or can helps clearly express that future or conditional possibility.
And wouldn't you know it, we heard another instance of a missing to be verb, especially in a conditional phrase. The friend said, if I good enough. Immediately you can feel that it's incomplete. The correct sentence, of course, is if I'm good enough. We need am to link the subject I with the adjective good enough. It's an easy one to overlook, but vital to correctness.
These mistakes are so insightful because they're not primarily about vocabulary, are they? It's not about knowing more words. They're fundamentally about sentence structure, about how words fit together, and that's a different kind of challenge.
Absolutely. I mean, at the B1 and B2 levels, which many of our listeners are at, the goal isn't just to expand your word bank. It's crucially about making your sentences sound consistently natural, accurate, and fluent. Mastering these structural patterns is a huge leap forward in your English journey.
Now, to help you sound even more fluent and add a bit more sophistication to your language when talking about future plans, you can also incorporate some fantastic alternative expressions. These really make your English shine.
Totally. For instance, instead of always saying I'm going to, you could say I'm planning to. This implies a slightly more definite intention, but still with a bit of flexibility. For example, I'm planning to redecorate my living room next month, or she's planning to apply for a new job soon.
That's a great one. Or if you're not completely sure yet, or it's more of an idea you're exploring, you can use I'm considering. So I'm considering taking up a new hobby, maybe learning guitar, or he's considering moving to a different city next year. It shows you're weighing options.
I hope to is another excellent phrase, especially when you're talking about long-term goals, aspirations, and dreams. Like, I hope to travel around the world someday, or she hopes to start her own business. It conveys optimism and a desired outcome.
And then there's I was thinking of, which is really natural and conversational when you're sharing an idea or a gentle suggestion. For example, I was thinking of making pasta for dinner tonight. What do you think? Or we were thinking of visiting that new museum. It feels less imposing.
Finally, I'd like to is a wonderful expression because it sounds so much more polite and softer than simply saying, I want to. So I'd like to learn Spanish someday, or we'd like to invite you to our party. It's a fantastic way to express desires with grace.
Using these expressions will truly make your English sound so much richer, more nuanced, and significantly more natural when you're discussing everything from immediate plans to those grand future aspirations. It's all about expanding your linguistic toolkit.
We've definitely covered a lot today, haven't we? We've reached the end